Hi guys, this video is demonstrating another free plugin called TAL Noisemaker, which I've been using for a while now, and I wanted to show you what kind of sounds it makes and how we get started. So first of all, let's navigate to the website where we can download it, and I've put the link in the description. And once we actually download it, it'll be a zip file. And if I open up my downloads folder, which I've downloaded earlier, I am going to open this up. And we can see that there's a DLL file there. So you can copy the DLL manually to your plugins folder, or you can use the installers. I just took the DLL, so what you're going to need to do is navigate to your plugins folder and just stick the DLL into there. So again, I am going to paste that link into the description so that you can get there easily. It might be slightly different in terms of folder format for you, but that is the process for where we need to put the DLL. Once that's done, navigate to FL Studio and then Options, Manage Plugins, and find more plugins. Now, I'm not going to do that right now because it takes about 10 minutes to run. And once you've scanned for new plugins, you can then go to the channel rack and add your TAL Noisemaker. Now, as with any synthesizer, presets are a great place to get started. And TAL Noisemaker comes with hundreds of these, and I like the way they're neatly arranged by ARP and then bass and drums, etc. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how it sounds on default settings with no presets, but please note that I have added some chorus from the control tab, which is here. And that is just to show how the inbuilt effects sound. So I'm going to be turning this kind of on and off throughout playing this demo. So that's how it sounds out of the box. Now, beneath, you can see that I actually have a further 6 instances of TAL Noisemaker. And if I go back to the channel rack, you can see these are all different presets which have been untouched. So let's listen to all 7 instances together. So if I then open up the mixer, you can see that I've just added some parametric EQ and also some limiting to change the volume and the EQ slightly, but this is a pretty accurate representation of how the presets sound. So let me play all these 7 instances of TAL together. So that's how the presets sound. Now you can tell that's probably not going to be the finished product, but they are a good starting point to see how the designers tweaked the various settings in the plugin to craft each sound. So let's actually take a look at the different buttons. And I'm not going to go through every single one of them because most of these functions can be found on any synthesizer, but I'm just going to show you enough to hopefully get you started. So first of all, in the master tab here, we have the sub, which is just a low sine wave, and then you've got 2 different oscillators which can be individually tweaked from here, and I'll show you that later on. You've got the master volume, you've got portamento, which is do the notes slide smoothly into each other, and I'm just going to demonstrate that using the first track that I played with the default settings. So you can see how that sounds. Then in the voices section, we can choose between 1 and 6 voices. So this is saying how many notes do I want to be able to play at the same time. So I'm just going to keep that on mono for now for this track because that's all I need. Then we have the transpose button, which allows you to change the pitch at an octave level. So if you want more precision than that, then you've got the tune knob for finer tuning. Ring modulation is a type of amplitude modulation which multiplies 2 waves together and removes the original. But to put that into simple terms, it basically produces sounds with a slightly different character than the original. So it is worth experimenting with that to see what you can come up with. The sync button forces oscillators 1 and 2 to be in tune with the sub even if you detune these two oscillators. So let me demonstrate that just now by detuning oscillator 1. Okay, so we see how that works. And that is all the settings in the master tab. In the oscillators, we have the tune and the fine tune, and they do exactly what they say on the tin. So the tune knobs have a plus or minus 2 octave range, and the fine tune knobs have a plus or minus 1 semitone range. I'm not going to go over the phase and the pulse width. You guys can play with that in your own time, but we do have different waveforms available to us. And let me go into the LFO. So I can use this to control, for example, the pitch of oscillator 1. And let's see how that sounds. So you can get some interesting sounds out of that. I'm just going to turn that off for now. If I open up Synth 2 tab, you get a second LFO, then you get your typical filters that you would get, and you can change your cutoff. I'm going to sync that. Then you can control your ADSR envelopes if you want your nodes to fade in and have a longer release, etc. But I'm not going to talk about the ADSR envelopes here just because I have another video that explains that in more detail. Next tab is the envelope editor. This can do some quite cool stuff, and you can create your own waveforms and things like that, which I do like, and let me demonstrate that using only oscillator 1. Okay, final tab is it's got the effects on it. So for example, the chorus that I added earlier. Then you have your reverb and delay. So there we have it. It's quite a simple plugin to use, and I think it's a nice introduction to synthesizers. So I've attached a link to the FLP file, so you can download it too and get started. I hope this has been helpful to you, and please do let me know if there are other free plugins that you'd like to see being demonstrated. Thanks very much.